Article 4 AI Informatics. How to gain the advantage from the flood of new technologies. What is it with the human race? They see an opportunity looming in the future and automatically view it as a threat, entwining around it an increasing crescendo of hysteria, announcing yet another end-of-world scenario. I suppose it's been like this since the beginning of recorded history, with countless hysteria-driven cults. In fact, there was even one priest in the 16th century England who proclaimed the introduction of tea would bring the downfall of English society. Sounds a bit crazy, and very likely we would all laugh at such unreasonable thoughts and declarations. Yet we who are renowned for our ability to burn flags must be wary of the arrogance of believing we are smarter than those who came before us. I say this because even within the last few decades, there have been a number of high-profile contagions of mass hysteria. For example, in 1999 there was the Y2K bug, where so-called experts warned that all computer systems in the world were about to suddenly stop at the stroke of midnight and planes would fall from the sky. That was a laugh. And then of course in 2012, the much publicised end of the world because the Mayans had run out of space for their calendar. There were more experts involved with this one. They even made a few Hollywood movies for this to cash in on the mass hysteria. It's amazing how many experts there have been before an event, yet so few after the event fails to materialise. Just like COVID-19, how many medical experts were there proclaiming this to virtually be the end of civilisation, except it wasn't. In recent years, hyped by the crusading mainstream media, there has been increasing hysteria about a topic that shall remain nameless. Climate change. Don't say it out aloud. Mainly among the middle classes who seem to feel guilty about everything and feel the need to apologise for even more, with unwashed students with no life experience proclaiming loudly human activities would lead to the demise of the entirety of the human race and all life on Earth. This, of course, is utter nonsense. But yes, there are even more experts stoking the fires in order to search for those lucrative research grants. There is one thing in common with all these end-of-the-world scenarios. The time frame from the stated end of the world always comes and goes, and the world continues orbiting around the sun. We continue to pay taxes, and some people continue to search for the next sensationalist headline. Life continues, and those who were shouting about the end of the world sort of go into an embarrassed silence, and no one seems to mention it ever again. The most recent hype to hit the media and add further levels of hysteria is all around, is artificial intelligence, or AI to you and me, with its obvious and inevitable Terminator-like conclusion, sarcasm. It's true. For this scenario in particular, there are some potential risks, but at the same time, there are some very real potential advantages. And let's face it, we are the human race. We have to take into account risk, but if this was the only factor to be accounted for, we would never have ventured beyond the caves. Look at the progress we've made. We now live in high-rise caves. Yet, I suppose to the hysteria-minded sheep, tempted into COVID behaviour of stocking up on toilet paper and pasta, but we are all better than this, and the AI genie is out of the bottle. So, shall we talk about AI informatics now? Please stop running around screaming. AI is not a threat. What is a threat is the potentially uncontrolled nature of learning, which is the same way as why societies need boundaries. In the same way as children growing up need to learn boundaries, AI, as it matures exponentially, needs those boundaries more than anything. Imagine what would happen to human society if there were no boundaries. Yes, think of the woke and the disastrous societies they create. This is why there are boundaries, to prevent disaster. Likewise, imagine what would happen to a supercomputer if there were no boundaries. Of course, the result would be that Hollywood makes more movies about the dramatic and traumatic impacts. And working on the premise that prevention is better than cure, I would much prefer to advise there be controls prior to a dramatic event rather than after a dramatic event. This is the point of proper and moral AI informatics. Informatics is about the process of assimilating information. In the case of AI, the informatics is concerned with the data coming in and how this data is processed to create learning and decisions, in order that we, the human race, may benefit from the considerable advantages of fully functional and integrated artificial intelligence. This has to be artificial because we have yet to reach our own level of sustainable intelligence. Think burning flags again. Therefore, you may see AI is not a threat, but what is a very real threat is our laziness and complacency with regards to upfront design. Working at the forefront of global transformation, I can say with hand on heart that success rarely happens by chance. Success more often than not is a result of opportunity meeting preparation. With AI, we have such an opportunity. For there to be a greater success, what we need now is structured preparation and control of the AI informatics process. Within our society, there are boundaries. Within the new AI society being created, there needs to be boundaries. And these boundaries are all based on what we want to achieve from AI. We do not want chaos, we do not want disaster. Creating a framework for boundaries within AI informatics is a relatively simple and straightforward thing to do, which may or may not be aided by government regulation. But, as we all know, it is very difficult for every government to shift up a gear from snail's pace to tortoise pace, and so cannot and should not be relied upon to lead the way. Now, I warn you, you are about to throw your hands up in horror because at this stage in the AI evolution, the only people capable of creating any form of control are the large corporates who are producing the AI mechanisms. Notorious in the pursuit of profitability as they are, even they see the benefit of long-term sustainable progression rather than a short-term flurry followed by complete chaotic disaster where no one will be able to afford their products. Take my word for it, these corporates do not want their AI to go rogue. They are inputting safeguards, but I would ask, considering the evolving nature of AI, are these safeguards enough? Are they visible enough? Do they inspire confidence? Do they create accountability? Then again, business history is full of extinct corporates who consider themselves invincible. Therefore, we need to get the message across that freedom is valuable and innovation is prized, but this should never mean freedom to do absolutely anything, because as society has boundaries, so AI requires boundaries and safeguards. We are in a unique position to work with these large organizations to create a framework for control, safety and visibility without encroaching upon profitability or commercial confidentiality. Without such standardized frameworks, there will at some point be costly disaster. Therefore, it must be said that it takes intelligence to create AI, yet a greater intelligence to sustainably harness its capabilities over the long term, without lurching from Frankenstein crisis to crisis. AI informatics is in its infancy. This is why there needs to be control over the data, the learning and the decision making. This is common sense. We make the future today.
A series of articles by J.S. Stuart. Number 1. The 3,000-year-old war. Number 2. The aging process. Number 3. AI, the first level of control. Number 4. AI informatics. Number 5. The continuing AI revolution. Number 6. China. Number 7. Data. Do we understand what's about to happen? Number 8. Disability. Do we pretend to care? Number 9. Fear. Number 10. Hypnosis. Eroticism for women. Number 11. Hypnosis. Managing stress. Number 12. Inspiration in the Age of AI. Number 13. Islamic Republic of Iran, the Enemy of Civilization, written before the latest war. Number 14. Why do women often prefer more mature men? Number 15. Program Rescue. Number 16. Rewriting History. Number 17. Tao. Number 18. The Art of Seduction. Number 19. The Audacity of Hope. Number 20. The Essence of Negotiation. Number 21. The Future of Warfare.